Today, we're gonna talk about Sigmund Freud's psychosexual theory of development. Before we overview to this topic, let's talk about who is Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud was an Austrian neurologist and the founding father of the psychoanalysis. Freud was born to Galician Jewish parents in the Moravian town of Freiburg in the Austrian Empire. What is psychosexual development? Psychosexual development means human being from birth possesses an instinctual libido, or sexual energy, that develops in 5 stages, namely oral, anal, phallic, latent, and genital. Each stage is characterized by the erogenous zone that is the source of the libidinal drive. Also, psychosexual development describes how personality develops during childhood. Personality is established by the age of 5. Early experience play a large role in personality development. Now, let's talk about the 5 stages of psychosexual development. First, the oral stage. Birth to 1 year. Erogenous zone is the mouth. Rotting and sucking reflex is important. Gratifying activities such as tasting and sucking, and the primary conflict of this is the weaning process. The child must become less dependent upon caretakers. Oral fixation can result in problems with drinking, eating, smoking, or nail biting. If you don't know what fixation means, well, fixation means persistent focus on an earlier psychosexual stage. It occurs if certain issues are not resolved at the appropriate age. Second, the anal stage. 1 to 3 years. Erogenous zone. Bowel and bladder control. Primary focus of the libido was on controlling bladder and bowel movements. The major conflict to this is the toilet training. The child has to learn to control his or her bodily need. Developing this control leads to a sense of accomplishment and independence. If parents are too lenient, anal explosive personality could develop messy, wasteful, or destructive personality. If parents are too strict or begin toilet training too early, anal retentive personality could develop stringent, orderly, rigid, and obsessive. Third, the phallic stage. 3 to 6 years. The erogenous zone to this is the genitals. Primary focus of the libido is on the genitals. Children begin to discover the differences between males and females. This stage has 2 complexes, the Oedipus complex and the Electra complex. Oedipus complex means boys begin to view their fathers as a rival for their mother's affections, and the Electra complex has been used to describe a similar set of feelings experienced by young girls. Fourth, the latent period, 6 to puberty. The erogenous zone to this is the sexual feelings are inactive. The libido interests are suppressed. It begins when children enter into school. The sexual energy is directed into other areas such as intellectual pursuits and social interactions. The important in the development of social and communication skills and self-confidence. Lastly, the genital stage, puberty to death. The erogenous zone to this is maturing sexual interest. The individual develops a strong sexual interest in the opposite sex. Interest in the welfare of others grows during this stage. If the other stages have been completed successfully, the individual should now be well balanced, warm, and caring. The goal to this is to establish a balance between the various life areas. The Evaluating Freud Psychosexual Stage Theory. The theory is focused almost entirely on male development, with little mention of female psychosexual development. His theories are difficult to test scientifically. Concepts such as the libido are impossible to measure, and therefore cannot be tested. The research that has been conducted tends to discredit Freud's theory. And that is Sigmund Freud's psychosexual stage theory of development.